What happens when an inverter goes down? Here at Fronius, we do have a tool. So this is going to be the tool for you, which is going to be our Fronius Solar.SOS. This is going to be our troubleshooting tool for all of our installers. You gain 24/7 support with a plethora of information from the tool itself, such as installation instructions, user manuals. You can also order replacement parts and start RMAs from this app. Now there is a website as well as an app, and with just a few clicks and a little bit of troubleshooting utilizing our online monitoring platform, you can create a case through this app without having to get onto a phone call with one of our tech support members and process a replacement. This tool is going to be your go-to tool to take a look at all of your RMAs. You'll be able to manage, locate, and check how long shipping of devices or equipment may take. With the use of this tool itself, you'll be able to save a lot of time out on the field as well as in person, and really lead your customer to a much better satisfaction.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll do a demo here of Solar.SOS. So this is actually my favorite app that we have, coming from tech support. There are a lot of really sweet features we can do with this. This is going to be the front page of the Solar online support app, or Solar.SOS. So the first thing you're going to want to do here is log in or create an account. So this is where you can log in or register, pretty similar to the SolarWeb login. Actually uses the same information. So you want to make sure that you kind of use the same logins that you have for SolarWeb or some of our other platforms. If you don't have an account, you can register now here. It is important though that if you do have an account with Fronius and you are a certified installer with a 5.5 account, you want to make sure that you have your account number so you can use that with SOS, as that really kind of links between our documenting and this platform. Once you guys have an account here and you're all registered, you're going to want to log in here. So I'll log in with my test account. And we'll be greeted with this page here. As you can see, there are a lot of different things here. We have these different categories here on the left. This is mainly what we're going to be going through. And then we also have some options up here that I'll kind of touch on. So this is going to be the main one that you guys will be using, the troubleshooting tab. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have been on sites where there are Fronius inverters and there are different types of error codes with them. And you're looking at an error code and saying, I don't know what that means. You might be using Google, and then you'll call in and be like, hey, I looked this up. This is what it was. And we're like, that's not really anywhere close to what it is. And then we have to go through, the troubleshooting steps that you guys might not have gone through. But with SOS, you can actually do all the troubleshooting yourself. Maybe if you've noticed on SolarWeb in the service messages tab, like I showed, that the unit has some type of error code, you can do the troubleshooting right here. So we'll go ahead and put this in here. This is going to be a Primo 1015, so a big Primo. And then we'll say that you're seeing a 212 error code. So you typed all that in here and then hit search. All right, so now it's going to take you through the exact same troubleshooting stuff that we will see and walk you through over the phone. You can see what this error is called. So it's an AC voltage, line 1 to neutral, being too high. The first cause of this is that it's a mains voltage error. So the AC voltage on the site might be too high for the line 1 to neutral. So you want to check that voltage and frequency on the AC clamps, make sure that that's not the case. So if that doesn't solve it, you can run into cause number 2, which is a bad connection on the AC clamps. So you're going to want to check those. So you might have loose wires, maybe something's a little bit frayed, not tightened down properly, not stripped correctly. This can cause this error code for the AC side. So that's the next thing that you want to check here, and it kind of gives you a solution. Let's say that didn't fix it. You could have the wrong country or grid setup on the unit. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have installed these systems before, or maybe installed replacement units, And when you first turn them on, it kind of takes you through the commissioning for the system. And one of those options is you have to select the grid setup. So sometimes you might just be clicking through it. Maybe you select the wrong one. Maybe you're on a 208 grid, but you select 240, or you're on a 240 grid and you select 208. And you start the system up and it says, whoa, that 240 voltage is way too high for a 208 system. And then you call in and say, oh, I have this issue. And then we just tell you to reload the grid setup. So that's one of the things that might be happening here. And it actually gives you the access code that you need to be able to reload that right here. So that might be the issue. Could be the incorrect voltage and frequency values in the Pro menu. So some of you guys might be familiar with this. There is an advanced grid functions menu on the system that we don't use too often, but you can adjust some of the nitty-gritty details for what the inverter accepts. So if maybe you're messing around with that for maybe a particular grid restriction, you can adjust those values, and that might be what's going on. Cause number 5. So it could be contact between the AC terminals placed on the DC circuit breaker and the filter circuit board may need to be replaced. So this is getting into there might be some type of issue with the hardware. So this kind of tells you to check for smoke marks, if there's a bad connection there, if you see any signs of damage. It might just be some type of measuring error on the filter print. So sometimes the filter prints can have issues. If that's the case, that filter board might need to be replaced. Or it could just be a measuring error on the unit. It could be something bad with the software or the internal measuring circuit, and you may need to replace the whole device. So this is really good for the troubleshooting, but you might be asking, well, I still have to call in to create cases, right? Well, that would be wrong because you can actually make cases directly through SOS. So you can hit contact support here, and that's going to actually allow you to make an SOS case yourself. For the reference here, that's going to be kind of what your case title name is. So we really recommend that you put something in here. It can be anything as simple as maybe the customer's name, the site name, street address, anything like that, so we can identify the case and you can identify it later on. You can also put in a data logger ID. So if you were kind of monitoring on SolarWeb and you saw an issue and you want to pull up SOS to do some remote troubleshooting, you can just copy and paste that data logger ID, which is what I showed underneath the components tab. You can copy and put that in here, and that will allow us on our end to be able to easily find the site and do troubleshooting if we do have any further issues. And then here for the failure description. So this is where you want to put in all of your troubleshooting notes. What I usually recommend, especially if you're doing SOS, is kind of go through and list that you've done all the different troubleshooting steps. So kind of just walk us through what you did. I arrived on site, saw the inverter was showing a 212 error. I checked the voltage. Here are the values. I checked the connections. Everything was good, and so on. Just kind of walk us through everything that you've done so we can have a good idea of where we need to go moving forward, whether it's, hey, try this specific trick, or you've done everything that we need on our end. We're going to go ahead and get you out a replacement, something like that. Be as detailed as possible when doing this tab. And you should have plenty of characters to do that. As you move down, you can see the device list here. So this is where you'll see the serial number that you put in, the product group, and the state code that we saw earlier. If you have multiple inverters that are seeing issues, you can add more serial numbers here and kind of let us know what's going on with that. Now, I always recommend attaching pictures to these, as it really helps us understand, where the system's installed and what's going on with it. So you can attach pictures here. Some of the most common ones that we see or that I recommend are pictures of the install. So remove the system from the mounting when you're taking voltage readings. Get us a good picture of the back mounting bracket so we can kind of see that everything's looking good there. If you suspect there might be any type of damage or something looks funny, you can take a picture and attach that here. If the unit does have any type of damage, we do require pictures, so you will need to add it there. Just pull your phone out, snap some pictures, and add those here. So once you finish with all this information, you can hit submit, and it's going to generate a case. So reference, don't have a data logger ID, so I'll leave that blank. And then we'll hit submit. All right, so this is going to tell you that the case is successfully created and forwarded to Fronius. So now on our end, we're going to see this case populate, and it'll get routed to our tech support team to be able to assist you. So I'll kind of show you what it looks like here. So this is the cases tab that it brings you to. And I'll pull this up. It's going to say here that this is the test case. And it's going to give you your unique case number here. So this is something really important, as this is what you're going to use to kind of reference to us if maybe you do have to call in or you do send maybe an email about this particular case. This is going to be really useful to have. You can see that the status is listed as open. So you can see kind of if it's closed or if it's on hold, things like that here. You can see your description as well as the information here. And you can actually jump right to the warranty data, but I'll show some of that later on. And then the really cool one that I wanted to show off is this messages tab. So I know, at least I've been in this situation, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in the situation where you're working with multiple customers, multiple cases, multiple different inverter brands. So you can actually talk directly with a Fronius tech support representative through SOS. So you don't have to go through, search through your emails. As long as you use this, you'll be able to see our direct correspondence with you and the history of that. So as you can see, this is just kind of the first email that goes out, just kind of thanking you for creating a case, giving you maybe some links for some other place you can check out, and then just kind of telling you we're going to look into this and we'll reach out to you. So what you can do here is you can type messages directly and then just send that over. And then that's going to populate here. And then when we do have an update for you, or we have any further troubleshooting, any further information that we need, you'll see that message here. And you can see the entire conversation right through here. So you can just kind of scroll through and say, okay, so he sent me, told me to do this, told me to get a picture of this. And then you can attach those pictures here and send them over. So it's all located here within the site for you guys in the field to be able to talk with us without needing to call in. And then we also have this delivery tab here where you can track any type of deliveries that you have for cases. You can do that right here. Now, one thing you guys might be saying is that I thought I saw a different option when you were going through that. And you would be correct. So we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that. So as you get past some of these troubleshooting or external issues, you might be wondering there was a request, exchange, and repair option. So our Fronius FSPs, which are our solution partners, they can actually do their own replacements through SolarWeb and get replacement inverters, replacement parts directly through SOS. So we can jump to this exchange and repair option here and see that we can exchange components, set repairs, or device exchanges like RMAs. So, let's say we were having an issue, and I believe one of the things was a filter board. So we can go through here and scroll through and see if we can locate. So Primo filter board, we can create our own RMA for that. And this is once you've gone through all of our trainings and things like that. You'll be able to do this once your account is listed as FSP. Like I said, you can do device repairs. So you might be on site, might be looking at an inverter that was, fried from utility, or maybe has an installation error, something like that, and it's no longer working, and it's not going to be something that Fronius can cover. You can just quote a repair directly through SOS, which is really cool, as well as device exchanges. So if it was, like the last issue for the troubleshooting was some type of measuring issue, we can't find out exactly what the problem is, just need to have it replaced, you can do that directly through here. Now, like I said, this is a FSP only option. As you can see, I have an FSP account here, but it is something really cool to kind of keep in mind. Now, going back to the troubleshooting tab, it is also important to let us know if maybe you solved the issue. When you have this pulled up, there is an option to click solved. What this will do is it's going to create a case for us just so we can document that you used SOS, you had an issue, and this solved it. So like if you get on site and you check the voltage and it's way too high, then you can just hit solved. That just kind of lets us know that you had an issue with this, you fixed it, and it's documented. So if you need to reference it further, you can do that. Next thing I want to show off is this device data tab. So I'll go ahead and I will plug that serial number in again. We can pull it up and we'll see a bunch of cool information here. So I know there's been times when you guys maybe walk up to like an older legacy unit or something like that, and you just want to know if it's in warranty, maybe it's not working, it's 12 years old, something like that. You can actually check the warranty here, as well as the device name, the serial number, what type of unit it is. You can check all that here. Now, if the system did have a data source ID attached to it and it was registered on SolarWeb, you'd be able to see some further information here, but it looks like this one isn't. But you can see all that here. And if you do this first, you can jump right into troubleshooting, contact technical support, or request exchange or repair right through the screen. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump to the downloads option. This is a really cool one too. Just go ahead and we'll type in Fronius Primo. And when we type that in, so you're going to see here, it's going to populate with a bunch of different pages, bunch of different stuff. So this is where you can find, instruction manuals, installation manuals, spec sheets, USB updates, all those cool things. Like I said, it is showing a lot of different things. There's a lot of different products, a lot of different locations, languages, things like that. So a really cool thing I like to do here is the filters tab. So you can filter by language, country. Let's just do US. Let's say we want to find a data sheet. So you can see here we have the Fronius Primo USA data sheet. It's going to be a spec sheet where you can just click on this and it'll download right to your computer and you'll have access to it. Let's say we want to look at the installation manual or installation instructions. Right here, you can just click it, download it, have it on your computer. Let's go ahead and we'll just hit show all. So we have a lot of different things here: data sheets, firmware, flyers, installation instructions, operating instructions, photos, press releases, product presentations, quick guides, software, a lot of different things you can view through here. Like I said, one that'll be really good for you guys is the firmware. So instead of having to, go through our website and try and find it there, you can download the most recent firmware directly through SOS. You don't even have to contact us. I know a lot of you guys probably contact us, get it sent via email, but you can do all that through SolarWeb before you even get to the site. So if, one of the troubleshooting options is try updating the software, you can just download it, have it on your USB before you even get to site, and be able to have that ready. So go ahead and we'll move on to the next one, which is the recovery key. So I'm sure you guys have been in situations as well where you're either trying to get the system online, maybe it disconnected, change something through the data manager, maybe add a smart meter to a site, and you try to log in and you don't know what the password is. Maybe one of your older colleagues created a password and never documented it. Maybe the homeowner made it and they don't know what that password is anymore, and you need to have it reset. So in the past, you would have to contact tech support, give us a PIN number, then we'll give you a long key that you would have to type in. We either give that over the phone or through email. But through SOS, you can actually generate recovery keys yourself. So you would just need to go down here and tell us what type of device this is. It would be a data manager. Type in the data logger ID. So that's the 240 dot number that you would get through SolarWeb for it. You would type that in here. Select what password you're going to reset. So whether that's user, admin, or service. and then you would type in the PIN here. So this is what the data manager is going to give you. It's a few characters. Just type that in and then hit generate recovery key. This is going to give you the long password that you have to put in to reset your data manager password. You just copy and paste that into the box, and then you'll have your password reset without needing to contact us. So that's a really cool feature that you can also do here. Last tab I want to look at here is the news tab. This just kind of keeps you up to date with any SOS versions that we update it with, things like that. As you can see there was one back in July. There's also a few tabs here. There's the installer support page, which is going to take you directly to our website where you can see some of our other support options that we have, as well as an overview of the service costs. This is kind of a rough estimate of the prices for particular parts and services that we offer. Those are kind of changing ever so often, so take those values with a little bit of a grain of salt, but it will start to be updating with regular prices. But for now, they're just kind of estimates. And then up here, I'll also touch on the notifications tab. So this is where you'll see any updates with, anything that we message you about. So you can see there was a new message from the support team. And then here you can see a lot of other different options for your profile. So declaration of consent, show inverter codes, things like that. But that's really the gist of SOS. Pretty easy to use, easy to navigate, not complicated. So I really hope you guys start to use this in the field, as it'll make your lives so much easier. I do also want to mention, just like SolarWeb, we do also have an app that you can download that has all the same features, all the same troubleshooting options that the website has. It even has a really cool offline mode where you might be going to a site where you don't have any internet or it's really spotty. You can select offline mode before you leave, download all the information to your phone, and then be able to troubleshoot on those remote locations.